City building games give players the freedom to design their ideal towns and cities as far as their creativity can take them. But of course, running a city is not just about building residential and economic areas, and a mall or park in between. Such games require planning and resource management to ensure their cities and their denizens prosper. But of course, there has to be a balance between managing resources and having fun, and some city building games do just that, much to the delight of their players. What's going on, everyone? Geoffrey here, welcome to Game Rant. In this video, I'll be highlighting 10 of the best city building games of all time, so let's dive into the list. Number 10, Banished. While most city building games have players start from nothing, Banished ups the ante a bit more by having players start with nothing in the medieval era. Being banished to the wilderness to fend for themselves, players have to create a small village and work on it until it becomes a veritable city for traders to come in and set up shop. But apart from making their cities prosperous, players also need to manage their villagers. They will get old, contract an illness, and spread them around. It's up to the players to oversee who lives and gets shunned in their towns to keep their townsfolk healthy and in good spirits. Number 9, SteamWorld Build. SteamWorld Build is a clever city building game that is set in an old western world inhabited by quirky yet endearing sentient robots and automatons. Players are tasked with building a bustling city from scratch and making it self-sufficient by adding different kinds of industries where its robot inhabitants can work and produce various goods and services. Apart from this, players are also given a storyline quest of collecting parts of a rocket to repair it and use it to leave the planet. This part of the game involves players diving deep into different mining areas, collecting resources and raw materials for their industrial buildings, and dealing with some unwanted and dangerous underground denizens en route to finding the missing rocket parts. Number 8, Caesar 4. For players who want to experience what it was like to be a city planner during the Roman Empire, the Caesar games are just the games for them. Sporting an isometric view, players can plan out how their eventual city-state would look and ensure they would bring prosperity to their domain. Managing the 4 ratings of culture, prosperity, peace, and favor is all essential to progress through the games. Now, of course, this is easier said than done, though, since decisions made by players are crucial to keep these ratings at optimal levels. Number 7, Surviving Mars. When city management on Earth feels old, why not just go to Mars, right? Well, Surviving Mars gives players the opportunity to create a colony on Mars and make it as livable and self-sufficient as possible. This can be done by either employing manpower or using machines to do the terraforming and other tasks for building up a settlement. That said, colonizing Mars provides unique challenges since, of course, there's no breathable air. Players have to keep that in mind when preparing their urban planning schemes. Having renewable sources of electricity and finding water are also important to keep the city up and running. Number 6, Tropico 6. The Tropico games have players take control of a tropical island, and it's their job to make their island and its citizens happy and economically thriving. There are many factors that players need to keep an eye on in terms of which industry is the best for their locale, what resources they can capitalize on, and the community's morale. It is up to the players whether to dive into industrializing and getting more shipyards, or focus on one or more of a diverse agricultural product to get their island economy started. Some can even use the island itself and make it a tourist destination by building establishments that attract tourists to get some capital. Number 5, Pharaoh A New Era. The era of ancient Egypt is filled with mystery and magnificence. Many people ponder what it was like to live during the time when the ancient Egyptians were at their prime and were building awe-inspiring monuments like the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx. Those same people can experience that and more when playing the Pharaoh games. Since the setting of Pharaoh is in Egypt, players have to familiarize themselves with what resources were used for city building during ancient times. Players are tasked to build their kingdom and ensure its people are happy and that the Egyptian culture is prominently displayed for everyone to marvel at and respect. Number 4, Anno 1800. The Anno games have made their unique gameplay mechanic of merging RTS and city building to be much more successful. Incorporating their resource management and building mechanics in different era settings made each title a unique one, since players have to get familiar with what resources were available during such eras and how to make them profitable. From the Age of Sail to the distant future and some eras in between, the Anno titles have players deal with era-related challenges of city planning and resource management to much critical acclaim. Number 3, SimCity 4. The granddaddy of city building games, the SimCity titles made urban planning fun and exciting for the majority of players. Planning the residential area, business district, and other city features players might want to add is just part of the fun these games provide overall. Once players have either properly planned out their metro or would rather start again, they have the option to simulate various natural and unnatural disasters to lay waste to their cities. This comes in the form of hurricanes, typhoons, wildfires, and heck, even an alien invasion. Number 2. Cities Skylines. Many consider Cities Skylines to be the successor to SimCity, and for good reason. It took most of the mechanics of existing city builder games and made them more accessible and intuitive. Cities Skylines has players create their cities from scratch and provide their residents as many creature comforts as they can to keep them happy. The more milestones players reach, the more new items they unlock and can build on their sprawling city. Expanding the city limits feels really rewarding, especially when players manage to purchase more land and connect them via roads or highways. Capitalizing on available natural resources also allows their city's economies to grow and make living there a good choice for everyone. And number 1, Against the Storm. Against the Storm is a fun little title that mixes city building and the roguelite genre into one neat package. It has a simple premise. As the Queen's Viceroy, players are tasked with establishing settlements in various locations within the territory of the smoldering city, while also trying to seal certain areas to halt the blight storm that's been ravaging the world. Locations players will begin their settlement vary in terms of what available resources they contain. Players will have to decide before their excursion and during their run which types of villagers and buildings they will need to maximize the limited resources they have and gain reputation points. This simple loop can get addictive since no one run is the same, and seeing how well a settlement thrives amid tumultuous storms feels really darn rewarding. And there we have it everyone, 10 of the very best city building games of all time. Thank you so much for watching this video from Game Rant. Be sure to check out all sorts of other top-notch gaming content, including more lists, news, reviews, guides, originals, and so much more right here on Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day, everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.